Hello, I know, the beard's gone. Don't worry, it's gonna grow back. That's how beards work. Welcome to the new year, everyone, and to celebrate the new year, let's look at the old year. I'm gonna go through the 10 games that I really enjoyed last year, and disclaimer, these are the games that I played last year, not that the games that I played that came out last year. But with that in mind, I'm going to now take you back to the year 2001. I finally sat down and played this Naughty Dog classic this year on the PlayStation 4. The Jak and Daxter collection on PS4 is a group of the classic Jak and Daxter games. I've always dipped my toes in and out of this game, but never have I got so engrossed that I just had to 100% the game and get the platinum trophy. The idea is to collect power cells to usually power some kind of precursor technology in order to get to the next area. Along with power cells, there are precursor orbs which act as the game's coins, rings, Whimperfroo, gems, basically the main collectible. They even combo off each other. Collecting 100 orbs will allow you to force this god statue to shit out its eyes through its nose. The best part about this game is that it's short but sweet. It doesn't outstay its welcome and it's charming throughout. The only problem personally for me is the fact that Naughty Dog scrapped the game design from 1 and revamped the series for 2 and 3, and I kinda hate them. They're just so boring. Having to drive from mission to mission isn't fun. It's padding, and it's shit padding at that. Like the padding in Assassin's Creed, it's just boring. There's no other way to describe it. But negative thoughts aside, Jak and Daxter 1 is a not so hidden classic, and I hope Naughty Dog remasters it or makes Jak and Daxter 4 a charming collectathon and less like a boring dumbed down GTA knockoff. Now let me take you back to the year 2002. The PlayStation 2 was booming, and out popped a game from Insomniac named Ratchet and Clank. Now fast forward 14 years and you have the exact same game, but it looks like a Pixar movie and it plays like what I assume Butter the game would play like. Smooth. Ratchet and Clank was one of the titles that I got a PS4 for but never actually picked it up. Luckily it went free on PSN and I instantly downloaded it, completed it 4 times in a row and loved every second, mostly, of it. But we'll get to that. I've never completed a game 4 times in a row before, but Ratchet and Clank was an exception. It was just so much fun and I had to get that platinum trophy. Well, shit. Yeah, well, after attempting the trophy twice, I gave up because it was starting to give me an aneurysm. Nevertheless, this game is an absolute treat from start to finish. Like Jak and Daxter, it doesn't outstay its welcome. The level design is amazing and characters memorable. Captain Cork being my favourite. He never fails to make me acknowledge that there is a joke present which sends a message to my brain, which then sends a message down to my mouth, which tries ever so hard to raise at least one side of my mouth into a slight smirk because I never laugh and hate everything. But at least my brain tries. I loved leveling up each weapon, all of which was a literal blast to use. Some highlights are the Groovatron, a disco ball grenade which forces enemies within range to dance against their will, and is the cause of my frontal vein to pop out. The other weapon I love, which I have to mention, is the Pixelizer, which is a shotgun that turns enemies into pixel art. Now Insomniac has finished the game where I seem to be the only person in the entire world to not give a fuck. Hopefully the company can come out with the next Ratchet and Clank game, maybe even the start of a new trilogy. The franchise which causes friendships, families and relationships to end. It's Mario Party. Specifically Super Mario Party on the Switch. As if this game wasn't soul-crushing enough, my housemates and I have a tally to see who can win the most games of Mario Party within our tenancy agreement. The winner receives a $5 from each of the losers. As you can see, Scottson isn't doing so hot, with a big fat 0. And we never let him forget it. But this game is filled with fun activities, from classic Mario Party all the way to the new 4-player co-op style. Because these 2 modes are split and you have the choice between them, the 4-player co-op style where everyone's in the same car, or in this case boat, is actually a lot of fun because you have the choice to go back to the classic Mario Party whenever you want, which is what they should have done before. But can I just say, thank the gods they brought back classic Mario Party. Like I just said, there is room for both modern and classic styles of Mario Party, damn it. With the classic Mario Party mode, the maps are smaller, but because of this, the sheer amount of bullshit that occurs is higher. Stealing stars, planting poison mushrooms on Alex, and always Alex, landing on a space purposefully to screw others up, it's all here. The minigames are great fun and the new buddy mechanic is a welcome addition that I hope never leaves. The most evil thing I do personally is during a 2v2 minigame. If my partner is the winning player, or if they're next to the star and they need to win in order to be able to afford the star, or if it's Alex, then I throw on purpose and just watch as my closest friends slowly turn to Facebook and unfriend me. spoiler warning, I guess? I mean, it's been out a couple of years now, you probably should have played it. Back when Undertale launched on PC, I played through the neutral run and had an amazing time. However, I always felt that Undertale was the perfect game for consoles, being able to sit back on the sofa and just enjoy this indie hit. Fast forward a few years and Undertale releases on console. Firstly, I blitzed through the neutral run and started the pacifist run. This run is heartwarming. You go on dates with the characters, get to know them and their backstories. You find out what happened to all the missing monsters with a plot twist that reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist. Just so disturbing. Right up my street. Well, the genocide run is the exact opposite of this. It sees you go around brutally murdering everyone. And they don't come back. It makes you feel like a right wanker. The genocide run is a bit grindy, but it's worth it to get to the final boss. One of the hardest, but most satisfying to beat boss fights I've ever fought against. Sans. I'll go into more detail about the fantastic music, simple but effective game battle mechanics, and amazing writing in my review, but for now, just hear me out. Go play this game. Don't let the graphics and fan base put you off. It's an incredible gem. When the Crash Insane trilogy arrived last year, it got me thinking, what about Spyro? Of course, fast forward 1 year and now I'm sinking my teeth into Spyro Reignited trilogy. I've always had a soft spot for Spyro, the first game being the title I played the most as a kid, followed by Gateway to Glimmer, Ripto's Rage. Ooh, had to be edgy there, America, and then take us down with you in the rework. Finally, I never owned Spyro 3, but my stepsister did, so I got to play it when she visited. And that's about it. I got a massive sense of nostalgia from playing Spyro 1 again. The updated graphics, much like Ratchet & Clank, made you feel like you were playing a Pixar movie. The music is still incredible, just so atmospheric, and I love the new dynamic music mechanic. When Spyro is standing still, the music volume goes down. When he's charging, you hear little bongos in the background. All good stuff. You can choose between both modern and classic versions of the song, which is a great touch. I love how detailed the dragons are, each with their own personality and charm. The sound effects bring me back to my childhood, the weird death noises these druids make, the taunt from these thieves, or as I used to call them when I was younger, the Nurnicky Nurners. Don't know why I called them that. Spyro 2 is just as good as I remember. Each level in Spyro 2 starts with a charming cutscene, most of which consist of someone being murdered, and then they just added to the formula, bringing in missions that you have to complete for orbs. And then Spyro 3, because I never really played it as a kid, I don't have much nostalgia for it, but at the same time I'm enjoying playing through it because I just don't know anything about the game. It's like playing a brand new Spyro game. But if this game comes out on Switch, I'll 100% review it, but for now, I'm going to just let you know that I loved it. My first Pokemon experience was Pokemon Red, all the way back when the series first started in the 90s. Of course, I owned Yellow too. I loved how much like the anime it was. I've kept up with the franchise, played every mainline title in the series, and now, here we are. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are simplified versions of Pokemon Yellow. They got rid of the classic wild catching mechanic in favour of the Pokemon Go catching mechanic. In my opinion, this was a great idea. Not only can you see wild Pokemon in the overworld, which is a great addition and I hope never leaves, but catching wild Pokemon is now different to trainer battles. If you were worried that there won't be enough battles in Let's Go, then you would be mistaken. There are so many trainers to fight, and that is why I love the new catching mechanic, because it breaks up gameplay and keeps things fresh. Sure, the game can be super easy if you catch everything, but if you only catch the Pokemon you need, then the game is just as, if not more challenging than the original. Like earlier games on this list, I'm working on a review for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so I'll go into more detail then. But for now, hear me out. This game is not just a dumbed down version of Pokemon Yellow. If you were hesitant on buying these games because you were turned off by the Pokemon Go catching mechanic, then don't worry. This is an amazing title and great filler while we wait for Gen 8. One of the surprises of the year for me. I first heard about this game from my mate Cam, who loves the series. Then after seeing it was up for Game of the Year awards, and then being on sale for only 25 quid on the PlayStation Store, I had no excuse not to try it out, especially as I was in the mood for a huge RPG at the time. I'm currently 100 hours in, probably not even halfway through the game, and I'm gearing up for my second wind. Needless to say, this is a long game, but don't let that put you off. As it says in the loading screen, take your time. And this could not be more true about this game if it tried. What keeps you going in this gauntlet of a game is the engaging story, relatable characters, catchy music, beautiful hand-drawn animated cutscenes, great villains, awesome enemy design, creative dungeons, deep monster catching battle mechanics, and pretty much everything this game has to offer. There are some negatives, but I suppose I'll go into detail when the inevitable Switch version comes out alongside the launch of Joker and Smash. By now, it's no secret that my first review is Celeste, and the video is nearly 30 minutes long. How have I managed to talk about this 4 to 5 hour long indie game for 30 minutes? I have no idea. I probably waffled too much, to be honest. But what can I say which hasn't already been said in that review? The game is just so endearing with its lovable characters, unique, gorgeous graphics. I mean, the game is both hard as nails and extremely satisfying at the same time. The perfect platformer. Well, when my review comes out, I'll pin it to this video. I hope you enjoy. Sakurai, you mad genius. Nearly 20 years since the original launched on the N64, you've finally done it. The perfect Smash Bros. Some people may disagree and still swear by Melee, but to them I say no. Just no. Open your eyes. Melee is a clunky mess. Take your nostalgia goggles off. Join the real world. Stop being so loud on the internet. Stop kidding yourself. Melee is trash. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Anyway, moving on, I have no idea how to praise this game enough. I've owned it for 1 month and I've already put in over 100 hours. Even my mates who didn't enjoy Smash 4 or Brawl have got back into the series. With 74 different playable characters and over 100 stages, you're in for one hell of a great multiplayer experience. Not to mention there is the World of Light, which is the game's story campaign. About 30 plus hours of event matches, which in my eyes is nothing but a good time. Just don't binge it or you'll inevitably burn out. Of course, a review will be in the works later on down the line, so you'll get my full thoughts on the game, but for now, it's good. I had to remind myself how much fun I actually had with Horizon Zero Dawn, because all I could think of was Smash! 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 I originally missed out on Horizon Zero Dawn when it first launched because of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They both released within the same week, but I managed to pick up a copy on sale, and holy moly, I fell in love instantly. So good, in fact, that I managed to get the Platinum Trophy. I don't think I've ever 100%ed an RPG before, but Horizon Zero Dawn was an exception. Aloy is a multi-dimensional character with strengths and weaknesses, which is nothing but a good thing. I also loved the setting. I'm personally a nature guy, so I just loved exploring the wilderness with the game's take on both primitive and futuristic settings. Cauldrons are one of my favourite aspects of the game. The transition from wilderness to a futuristic sci-fi setting was so alien to me. Such a unique idea and I couldn't get enough of it. I also love how the cauldrons were like dungeons from Zelda. Taking down huge hulking mechanical beasts never got old throughout the entire game, and I loved the vast variety of them, all of which with their own little quirks that made each fight interesting. Even taking down the small enemies is fun, both man and machine, because the stealth mechanics in this game are so slick. Each stealth kill is just so satisfying. The story is great with seamless pacing and reveals the history of the world flawlessly. The fact that so much time has passed to the point where no one knows anything about our past is such a cool concept to me, and I loved learning about it. If this game didn't come out within the same year, let alone week, of Zelda Breath of the Wild, then I think it would have won Game of the Year instead. If the team behind both games joined forces, they could create the perfect RPG, and I would play the shit out of it. But as we're not in that timeline, we can just enjoy both, which is great too. So there you have it, my favourite games I played this year. What are yours? Write in the comment section and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.